Okay, so now you've got your title screen set up. One thing we're going to do is to allow user interaction is we're going to add touch inputs. So that way you'll be able to play this game on touch screens like tablets and smartphones. So just double click anywhere on outside of the frame here. We'll scroll down and select touch and insert that. So now you have touch events enabled. Next thing we're going to do is add the other screens. So every time you click on one of these buttons, it will actually take you to a different screen. So each game will have its own screen and its own events for like actions. So what you can do here is just select projects in this tab, right click layouts and add layout. And we want to make sure you add the event sheet. So let's call this layout shapes. And then select the event sheet 1, click on it again so you can edit the text, and we'll call it ABT shapes. Then we'll right click layout again, add layout, add event sheet, and we'll call this one numbers, and the event sheet we'll call EVT numbers. So that way we know which event sheet goes with which screen. Right click layouts again, add layout, add event sheet, and we'll call this one letters. So these are the three games we'll be playing: shapes, numbers, and letters. And we'll rename this event sheet EVT letters. Okay, so now each one probably is opened up in your tab here, and they all should look very similar, they're just new ones. The layout size is not correct, so if you want to, you can just go to your title screen, click off of it, and then take your layout size of 1200 by 800, copy it, go into your shapes, make sure you click actually in the shapes, so it will change it, paste it in the layout size and paste it into the margins. Click on numbers, click on the actual numbers canvas, paste in the dimensions, and then finally on letters, add your 1200 by 800. Control S to save, because you always want to save your work. And now if you hold down your control key and scroll out using your mouse wheel, you'll see that all of these screens should be the right size. If you want, you can also, just so you have them open, you could double click on EVT letters, EVT numbers, and EVT shapes. And that way every screen that you're going to need is going to be here. And you could reorganize these just by clicking on one and dragging it side to side. So that way if you want to keep all your event together, all your actual screens together. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is actually make it so these buttons do something. So we're going to make sure you find your EVT title, and here we already say, hey, when it starts up, scroll to the middle. So that way, regardless of what screen size you're on, it will take you to the center of the screen. And now we're going to do something with our touch events. So we're going to add event. See, now we have touch available because we added it on the title screen. So we'll go to next, and then we'll say if tap gesture, let's say on tap object. So if you go up here and start typing tap, it will give you the options at anything that includes the word tap. And then we'll say if they tap the shapes button. Done. Okay, so all we've done is say if the user touches or taps on the shapes button, we should do something. What do we want it to do? We want it to go to the number screen. So we'll go to System, go to Layout, and what layout should it go to? Well, sorry, if it's shapes, it should go to shapes. We go to shapes. So if we touch the shapes button, then show the shape screen. So as you can imagine, we're going to do this 2 more times for numbers and letters. So we'll add event, touch, tap object. Which object? Let's do numbers. Done. What should we do when we tap on the number button? We should tell the system to go to the layout named numbers. We'll add one more event for touch. On tap object. Which object? Letter. And what do we do when we tap on the letter button? We tell the system to go to the layout for letters. And that's it. You just programmed 3 buttons inside an application without writing a single line of code. So just so we know what screen we're going to and making sure this works, let's go, what do we do first? We did shapes. So let's go to our shape screen. Double click on the screen. Insert sprite. Tap on the screen. Open. And we'll go to shapes background. Open. Close it out. And as we know, the center would be the size divided by 2. So that would be 600 by 400. Command S to save, because you always want to save your work. And while we're at it, let's just do the rest of them. So click on your Numbers tab to open up the layout. Double click, add a sprite, open. And I think I named it count, but that's fine. It's numbers. So we'll add count background. Where do we want it positioned? 600 by 400. Command S to save. We'll go to letters, double click, add your sprite, open, and I have one called letter background, and we want to place it in the center. So again, 600, 400 drops in the center. Save. Now click on your title screen and click the Run button. And now if we click on the letter, it will take us to drag and drop. If you refresh and then click on number, it will take us to numbers. And if you click on the letters, it will take us to letters. Now you may notice that all the screens, say like this one, they're offset. And that's because, just like how we did for this one, how we said when this layout starts, make sure you scroll to the middle, we're going to have to do that for these other ones too. So I'm not going to make you go through and select all those drop down menus again. All you have to do is go to EVT title, click over here so it selects everything in this orange color, Control C, the copy, we'll go to EVT letters, Control V, EVT numbers, Control V, EVT shapes, Control V. And all you did was paste that same action into each screen. Control S to save, always save your work. We'll run the layout. And now you see the screen is centered. And we can, even if you just wanted to go back to the title, you could run that layout. And then each screen should now be centered and not be pushed off to the side. So we'll check shapes, and there you go. You can refresh numbers, and that's fixed as well. So this is a good stopping point, and next we'll move on to another screen.